but I got into it. Got it all mixed up here. Look at that. Looks all good. You go, Aisha. You go, Glen Coco. Hi everyone, welcome back to Raw It's Aisha, where we're making cruelty-free food and we're making it fashionable. Today is a little weird. I forgot to plug in my mic for this video, so I had to do a voiceover in the editing process. So it's gonna be a little interesting today, but the recipes turned out super great, so I still wanted to make this video and get it out today. So let's pretend that we're watching an anime and that we're watching the dubbed version, okay guys? So today's menu is for St. Patrick's Day. Instead of doing a dessert like we did a few videos back, I wanted to do something a little bit more savory. So I decided to do an Irish sausage. It's going to be in a bun, and it's topped with this mushroom gravy that I use. It's actually a soup recipe, but I use it also as a gravy because it works so well with it. And I topped it with truffle potato chips, and it turned out amazing. For the gravy, this is not usually traditionally how I do it, but I had a leek in the fridge, so I decided to use a leek and just cut that up and add that to the sauce, and it actually worked really well with the gravy. Before, I actually ate it as a soup for lunch after this video because it's just so good by itself. But the sausages were also amazing, and we're going to get started with that right now. We have 2 pounds of mock meat. I used the Light Life Gimme Lean sausage, but you can also use any other kind of ground meat that's not already cooked, like Beyond Meat works really well with this. But since the Light Life has the sausagey flavor, this worked really well with the dish, so I recommend doing this for sure. So we're just squeezing the sausage out of here. Kind of looks unpleasant, but we're good. We got some herbs here. I have some fresh herbs today. I don't usually use fresh herbs just because dried is way easier and convenient, but I had 2 tablespoons of rosemary, oregano, and basil. So we're just going to add all that into there. I really recommend the fresh herbs with this too. It worked out really well. And for the dried herbs, we're going to just be using dried thyme, and with any time you use dried herbs, you're going to use half of what you would use with the fresh, so I used 1 tablespoon. And then I added about 4 cloves of chopped garlic, and then I made a flax egg, which is, of course, 1 tablespoon of ground flax seed with 3 tablespoons of water, and then I got some garlic salt, of course, and freshly ground pepper. The salt and pepper are just to taste. And then I wanted to add some bouillon. Oh no, wrong video. I wanted to add some bouillon. And so I just added a little teaspoon of that, and then I added 2/3 of a cup of panko breadcrumbs. I added some water, but while we're here, I'm actually making what I ate in Disneyland video, and that's going to be coming out next time, so keep an eye out for that. I was not excited to get my hands messy, so it's a little bit apprehensive here, but I got into it. Got it all mixed up here. Look at that. Looks all good. You go, Aisha. You go, Glen Coco. And that's what it looks like when it's all done. I mean, all mixed up. So, of course, we're not going to be using casings to tighten these mofos, so we're going to be using saran wrap. So you want to do a palmful, or is that just a handful? Well, you saw how much it was. So we're going to do that. At first I tried to roll it before I put in the saran wrap, but the more I did it, I realized it wasn't really necessary. You could just kind of put it in the saran wrap and use the saran wrap to mold it and flatten it out. Not flatten it out, but thin it out. And I was just measuring to make sure that the bun and the sausage were the same size, because nobody wants a too small bun or a too small... Oh, I was putting things in my mouth. Okay, let's just move on. The sausage turned out really well. It looks pretty, just going through that. I really recommend using the fresh herbs with this. I really think it brought a little extra something, and it was nice biting into anything, like a little bit of green. And I love herbs, so it's just very, very comforting. This is making me hungry. I actually only cooked a couple yesterday for the videos, and I just froze the rest. and they froze really well. So I'm gonna make one of those for lunch after this for sure. Gonna put these in the fridge after I got them all in the saran wrap, just to let them harden up a little bit so that when we cook it, it doesn't like fall apart. Again, Disneyland video coming out on Thursday. So we're gonna get the gravy slash soup started. So I'm just gonna cut up the leek. I already cut up one whole onion that's diced with another 4 loaves of garlic, and I got mushrooms and coconut milk, and we're gonna bring that over to our frying station and start frying up these leeks. I just put in like 1 teaspoon of olive oil, which definitely wasn't enough, so later on I added some water just to help it sweat a little bit more, and that definitely helped. And I realized my handle was shaking. And I'm gonna add the onions and garlic. You know how I feel about onions and garlic frying up. It smells so freaking good. You just want to let those sweat down. Maybe even get like a little caramelized, which is what I let mine do. Just very little, but it turned out really good. But we're gonna add the mushrooms next. I used cremini. It was only 8 ounces, which was perfect for this. I wish I did cut them up a little bit more. Since they're already pre-cut, I didn't want to like deal with it. But I started cutting it up with the spoon in the pan. But now, since I had the fresh oregano, I'm gonna add 3 sprigs of the fresh oregano. If you don't have fresh, of course, use the dried, and that's totally cool. And then I added some crushed red pepper flakes. And I usually add like about a tablespoon and a half, but I like spice, so whatever your heart desires. I added some more dried thyme, about a teaspoon, and some freshly cracked pepper. And bitch, I'm grabbing the garlic salt. There we go. Yeah, season it. I ended up going back and adding salt 2 other times, just because you don't want to add too much in the beginning and it gets over salted, and it's just a sad day after that. Everything's looking all beautiful and caramelized there. Look at that. It's looking good. So it's time to put in the blender. So I'm using not a beauty blender. Psh. I'm using a Ninja, and it worked perfectly fine with this. So I just added all that. There should be a little bit of water left over, and that helped liquefy it too. And I blended it for about a minute until I got this really nice smooth consistency. And I just added that back into the pot and warmed it back up. And at this point, you can't tell, but I got this sauce all over my shirt. So rest in peace, Disneyland shirt I had for only like 3 days. So I added more pepper here. Got the coconut milk. And I was really happy that I didn't have to get the can opener out. But then, like, as you can see, the fat got solidified on the top. But it's cool. We got it out. Smoothed it out. Look at that. That looks like a really bomb-ass gravy. Well, shoot. Shoot! Okay, now we got more garlic salt, because, you know, we can never have too much garlic salt. Well, actually, we can. We just talked about that. But now that I've tasted it, I know that I could add more. So I just made sure that was all mixed and smooth. And it looks good. I just let it simmer a little bit, let it thicken. And then while it was thickening up, I started to cook my sausage. Got my pan out, added some non-stick spray. Got a good amount there. And then we got the sausage. So I just wanted to unroll it without it breaking, which really wasn't an issue. It's all stayed together really well. And then just cooked it. And I made sure it was brown on all sides, just because I like it a little crispy on the exterior of it. But you can see the sage and the oregano in there. It's so pretty. Ooh, yeah. Look at that steam. It's all cooked up. You can see, it kind of looks like a shish kebab. And then we'll go in for my first taste. And it was really good. Like, you can taste the garlic. You could taste the herbs. It's not like they were lost in there. They all meshed together very well. Got my toasted bun. I'm gonna add my sausage, my Irish sausage. Ooh, it fits perfectly. That's the nice thing about making your own. You can make it fit custom to your bun. So now we got the sauce / gravy. Add like a good amount, but I didn't want to drown it. As you can see, I didn't want to make the bun all soggy. And then, of course, the truffle chips that I get from Trader Joe's, which I try not to get too often because it's not one of those things I can have for multiple days. Like, those were gone the day I bought these, and that's always the case. But doesn't that look gorgeous? So for a potluck, you can definitely cut that in half, and Peekaboo can just grab half a hot dog or half a sausage. Ooh, look at that. That is a really intense look. That is pleasure. Look at that face. Yum. Oh man, I want another one so bad right now. Yeah, it's super bomb. I think the truffle chips definitely add anything. If you don't have the truffle, get regular kind. Ooh, I could show you the greens in there. Looks so good. Kind of looks like the bun they sell at Costco, but like the healthier version. Oh, you could also just dip it in the soup, which is what I just did, and that was fantastic. I actually preferred that. Well, thank you guys for watching. I know this was kind of weird. Definitely not going to make a habit of this, but I think this recipe still turned out awesome and worth trying. If you guys have any comments, definitely leave some comments down below. I love to interact with you guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe.